start moving the technology into this common cloud for both development, reach of the finished products, you effectively put everybody in the same, on the same innovation palette. And this to us is one of these big themes. We are arms merchants here. We fund the software that powers consumer sites, that powers enterprises, that might power gaming technology, that might power mobile environments. And so I think one of the biggest future trends is that this ability to have 100% presence on any device, anywhere, anytime, which is again another common theme, is suddenly real. The enterprise acting like consumers is really a very dramatic trend, and that's because the data center is the computer now. What's happened in the enterprise environment is that they use search. They might have used a Google search box, and someone keys in some words and they search. Well, they discovered that search is big and they're specific. Let's say they were a financial services company versus all of the world of search. So we have a company called Baynote, for example, that actually uses all the Google search tags, watches how the searchers search on Google, and uses the wisdom of the searcher and social algorithms to change the order so the searcher gets what they want. How do we leverage the interaction of a very dynamic and computer literate customer or user of our technology, both internal to our corporations and external? That to me is a major, major change in how the computing landscape changed, and how you see sort of, people didn't say, well, all this stuff works, let's use behavioral analytics. People said, what happens when I have all the data in front of me and I can watch how the customer performs versus sell something to the customer based on my compute model inside the firewall? So if you open up outside the firewall and really use all the interactions between your constituencies, whether they're employees, customers, partners, it does change the types of computing applications and infrastructure that you build. When you start looking at the massive amounts of data that can be crunched in real time, it's really, and again, back to the cloud, people are using cloud to mean software as a service, not just a virtualized data center somewhere. So technically, Omniture, Salesforce are SaaS companies, but in this generalized version of cloud, the data is outside the firewall and it's used in real time. So the ability to run compute models across tons of data, both contiguously and at sporadic times, and also to potentially federate that data with other people's compute model, gives enormous value to companies, and that's relatively new. We funded Omniture in 2003, and it really was the ability to really run large amounts of data and achieve almost a real-time capability to use the data. It used to be that a lot of things we did for our day-to-day performance, especially in the tech industry, were kind of mushy, and they resulted in going to a meeting with a PowerPoint. And that's changed. Even PowerPoints change. We have a company called SlideRocket, and I'll go back to this tooling again. Now, SlideRocket has effectively a PowerPoint killer in the cloud, but it's more. It resides in the cloud, or it can run on your desk, but it has analytics attached to it. Who actually looked at what slide? How much time did they spend on the slide? Did anybody send this slideshow around? Did it take off virally because everybody thought there was some important information for it? Or is it just another, effectively, desktop PowerPoint, which in today's world is equivalent to a pile of paper? So if you really start thinking about, can I apply any real-time analytics to my job, you'd be surprised how many and how much of what you do today can be quantified.